been like so far?
Yeah, really exciting times for us right now. You know, we have had our guys around for quite a bit of time. We've been in the gym, we've been in the weight room, we've been on the turf with all of our preseason workouts. It was actually longer preseason in some regards than we typically get, but still there's something a little different about that first official day of practice. Our guys were really excited. I was very pleased with our effort. Our conditioning was very good. And again, just we've got quite a few workouts under our belt, so it wasn't like we were starting from scratch, even though the first official day was just a few days ago.
What are the safety protocols in place for you guys? How much can you tell us what goes into, I guess, what's happening now in the COVID world with you guys?
Yeah, well, our football team has done such a good job of kind of laying the groundwork for us. You know, our guys come in every single day and fill out surveys, get their temperature checked every day before they can come in the building. We still have very limited access to our locker rooms. Things are different, for sure they're different. We're wearing our masks during practice. We're still wiping down balls, spraying down the balls, doing all those kinds of things, trying to keep our huddles real short. When we watch film, we're spaced out 6 feet apart for our film sessions, which is unusual. We've had to find a different space to watch film because our film room is kind of a tight space. So there's a lot of differences. But once we get going, once practice starts, other than the fact that we've got masks on, it feels kind of normal once practice starts.
What can you tell us about your schedule at this point? When do you expect to start the season?
Well, that's a great question. It changes constantly. Right before this meeting here, I was on the phone with another coach, two other coaches, trying to add a game, trying to move a game for the non-conference portion. It's been very, very difficult. It's I wouldn't say impossible, but it's been very, very difficult to put together a non-conference schedule. If you've just been paying attention to the national landscape, the MTEs, the multi-team events and tournaments are such an important part of the non-conference schedule, and those have just been changed dramatically. And then every time one of those gets affected, somebody else is affected. You know, we've got a plan in place. We know what we're trying to do. We're trying to get those games scheduled. We feel like we're pretty close with our non-conference portion, and then the league will be coming out very, very soon with the conference schedule. They've been working real hard on that the last few weeks. They've got their plan, I think, ready to go, and would anticipate them releasing that in the next day or two. But we're anticipating playing on the opening night, which is November 25th. So we'll have hopefully 30 practices under our belt at that time, but that's so far off right now. We're just trying to focus on getting better today and trying to string together practices, trying to stay healthy, stay COVID-free, so we can put together a bunch of practices before that first game.
Greg, you're up.
Steve, how have the guys responded to all of those different things you mentioned, like having to practice with masks on or be spaced out in the film room? Has it changed, like, the focus or the attitude of the group at all? How have they handled it?
Surprisingly well, to be honest with you. I thought they'd be complaining about the masks and pulling those masks off. It took a little adjustment. They had to get used to it, but now it's just part of the deal. I think they're just so appreciative. They understand that there's a lot of teams that have not even started practice yet. They understand a lot of teams have been shut down. They're very, very excited to be on the court. They understand that it takes some effort on their part away from the court to be allowed to be on the court. They appreciate the efforts of our administration. Our sports medicine department has been unbelievable through all of this. So they're just grateful to have the opportunity to be in practice every day. And again, it's hard to plan very far in advance because things change constantly. Our practice days will probably get affected. They'll be changed. Some things just keep popping up, but our guys have handled all of that very, very well to this point.
Have you guys as a coaching staff really had to hammer home the importance of doing all those things, both like in the team setting, but even away from the team setting? How much do you talk about it with them?
Yeah, the hardest part really, and it kind of goes back to your other question, the hardest part is away from the court. You know, our guys understand, you know, okay, we can't go sit in the locker room. We can't sit in there where we usually want our guys hanging out in the locker room. We want them hanging out in the film room. We want them hanging out in each other's apartments and dorm rooms. But away from the court right now is where it's really, really challenging. It's the sports that have lost their seasons are really struggling mentally because they don't have the games coming up. Our guys have that incentive. They know that we have to make good decisions away from the court in order to have a chance to practice. They know we have to make good decisions in order to have a chance to play games and pull off a season. We keep talking about the fact that the season won't be fair. Things are going to pop up. You've seen it in football. You've seen it in other sports. It's not going to be fair. We just got to control what we can control. I mean, that's the cliche. We're hearing it a lot, but that's exactly what we have to do. So, yeah, we're trying to challenge our guys to come to practice, go take care of their schoolwork, sit in their rooms, be antisocial. All the things we usually tell them not to do, we're telling them to do now.
Yeah, it's to that point, the season's going to be different and everything is going to be different in a lot of ways. For guys who are either newcomers or even like a senior who has been envisioning this season for a long time, is it tough for them mentally to have it just be so much different from the experience that they were expecting? How have you seen that so far?
Well, it hasn't hit yet for us, fortunately. I mean, it hit us this summer, obviously affected our summer workouts. But once we got our guys here, we had more workouts now than we've ever had prior to the first day of starting practices. The NCAA allowing us to have 12 hours there for a while. It was a new ruling there. So we've been in the gym a lot. Right now, it's just a question: can we stay healthy? Can we continue to do what we need to do, string together practices, and prepare for that first game, and hopefully we pull off the first game. We don't spend a lot of time talking about what's going to happen down the road, but we do talk about the fact that some things aren't going to be fair. We anticipate we're going to play somebody, and we may have somebody out. We're going to play somebody. They may have somebody out. The schedule's going to get shifted. We understand that. But I think that's so far down the road for our players right now. They're just looking forward to practice number 4.
Evan, next up.
Hey, Coach. Want to ask you because, your season kind of ended right as this pandemic was beginning. And I'm just wondering how the off season has been just mentality wise and how often you've been in communication with your players from, March to where you guys are leading up now and how you handled that with the entire group.
Yeah, that's a great question. Our season, we were eliminated. So that's a little different than some of these other sports that just had their entire, spring taken away, or some of the teams that were still playing basketball at the end of the season that still had hopes of going to the NCAA tournament or competing for their championship. So our season was concluded, but it doesn't mean it was easy. I mean, early on, we just tried to make sure we continued to meet with our guys, as many Zooms as we could have, just to stay connected. We were very, very worried about everybody because none of us had been through it. And so we met a lot. We had, I know all the coaches across the country, there were so many coaches getting on Zoom those first 2 or 3 weeks of the shutdown. It was like coaching clinics on computers every single night. The opportunity to get on there and learn, the opportunity to get on there and speak to different groups was exciting for the coaches, but we worried about the players through all of that. The uncertainty, of course, was difficult for everyone. So we just didn't want to go very long without seeing them, even if it was as we're doing here. It was very, very uncomfortable to not be able to see them in person. The first day when we were allowed to get them on campus just to come and sign some forms and pick up their masks was like a day we celebrated. I mean, just to see them and air high fives, it was still early. We didn't know if we could fist bump or hug or what we could do, but it was just so good for our spirits that day just to see our guys. We hadn't seen them in months. And then we started putting some things into place to get them back on the campus. We had different phases. We had some guys that were already in town that were allowed to come in a little bit earlier. That was harder on the new guys that weren't allowed to come in right away. We had an international kid that came in, a freshman came in before the 2 Texas freshmen could come in. So that was a little bit different. So it's been different phases. It's been different challenges with each group. But now we feel pretty good about what's going on.
What's it like having Jhivvan and Keaton there, just having a couple of leaders to guide the players through that period?
Well, it's terrific. We've got a fairly mature group. We've got a whole bunch of seniors and fourth-year juniors. We've got several fourth-year juniors, guys that are redshirted or transferred. So we've got some maturity on this group. Keaton and Jhivvan have been doing just an unbelievable job. They've been consistent with their effort, with their leadership, helping the new guys out. Again, some of those new guys got thrown right into the fire. Again, when they gave us 12 hours a week, we got a lot of basketball in those weeks leading up to the first official practice. So leadership is important through all this. helping the new guys. We've got a nice mix again of returners, key guys returning, but also some newcomers that are going to play important roles for us. So the leadership is going to be key with this group.
And we mentioned the schedule a little bit. I know Conference USA will come out with it soon, but what are your thoughts on the notion of having those 2 home games, right? They're going to kind of pod them up over the weekends. And that seems like a new quirk that makes a lot of sense given the time and circumstances of everything in our country right now.
Yeah, when that model first came out, it sounded way outside the box. But just obviously people put a lot of time and effort into that. It was well thought out. And again, ultimately, every coach, when we were on those meetings, every coach said, we want to play. Whatever gives us the best chance to play games. The model that we settled on may not be the most fair. Again, that word's going to keep coming up. We won't play everybody in our league. That's not ideal, but in this climate, we just felt that was the best thing to do. So, yeah, it's going to be different than anything we've ever experienced before. But again, our guys, just like our guys are excited to get to practice right now, they're going to be thrilled to play a ball game. If there's 100 people in the stands, if there's nobody in the stands, the opportunity to line up and play, our guys will not take that for granted. They understand that it's going to take a lot of work from a lot of people, administration, sports medicine, our own guys. We've got to handle our business. Coach Traylor said it way back in June. He said he was just going to have his guys ready. He said, I don't know who we're going to play. We're going to play somebody. And that really resonated with me. And I've been telling our guys the same thing. We got to be ready. We don't know yet what our non-conference schedule is going to be, but we're going to line up and play somebody, and we need to be ready to go.
And then also the decision to allow scholarships to carry over, I guess, make it a free year. Just how important was that decision by the NCAA, in your opinion?
Well, it was a huge decision. It was a no-brainer, I think, for sports that lost their opportunity last spring to give those kids back an opportunity. If hopefully we end up playing close to a full schedule, and then it'll be kind of odd, some of these guys, if some of our guys would come back for their super senior year, a fifth year, imagine what those record books would look like. There's going to be a lot of interesting scenarios there, but again, that's so far down the road. We're not worried about it. You hear some people say, well, hopefully if we schedule 30 games, hopefully we can play 20. I'd like to be more optimistic than that even, but we know there's some potential. Just like there has been every Saturday this fall. Every Saturday there's a handful of games have been canceled with football. We know there's going to be some adjustments need to be made. We just want to play games.
Yeah, and this is my last question, I promise. It's funny you say that because Jhivvan could maybe pull off like a Cal Ripken-esque sort of record at UTSA. But what should we expect from this team come the winter and I guess the winter. I don't know. All these seasons are messed up. But what can we expect from this team? What's going to be sort of the foundation that you want out of your group as you begin play?
Well, I think if you were able to come watch us practice right now, you'd see a better defensive team, a bigger commitment on the defensive end. We're longer, quicker. Our mindset is much better right now. Our starting point is way ahead of where it would have been a year ago. We're going to score. Jhivvan and Keaton are going to score. We've got other guys that can make plays. We've got good depth. But ultimately, we've got to be a better defensive team. And the emphasis has been there. The commitment has been there. I'm very, very pleased with what our guys have done to this point. Again, just having a couple other guys in there that can cover ground, make up for mistakes, eliminate mistakes on the defensive end. We think we have a chance to be a much improved team on the defensive end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
JJ, you're up.
Me?
You're muted, JJ.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Steve, I wanted to ask you about your transfer from Houston, Cedric Alley. Just what does he bring to the table? And I guess how did you guys get in on him being able to transfer here?
Yeah, very excited about Cedric Alley. Was a terrific high school player. We recruited him very, very aggressively out of high school. We felt good about our chances. He took an official visit with his mother. We just weren't able to land him the first go around. And when he put his name in the portal, we reached out to him and we're excited to get him on the rebound. He's a big wing, can play the 3, he can play the 4, covers a lot of ground defensively. Coming from Houston, we know he's going to have some great habits on the defensive end. Their identity with defense and toughness over there at the University of Houston will help him as he comes in here, bring a little different dynamic to our team. Again, he's 6'5", 6'6", probably 230, can make threes, got a pretty good feel for passing the ball, very versatile. just again, the kind of body that we don't have many guys that are built like him and that can cover as much ground as he can on the defensive end.
Greg, you're up.
Steve, understanding that a lot of it is still up in the air, what was sort of the thought process on trying to find your non-conference games? Was there a specific approach that you took, whether it was to stay local or anything like that you had in mind?
Oh boy, there were so many different elements to the non-conference scheduling. Yes, travel. We had some parameters put in for us that made a lot of sense. If we could schedule relatively locally, we were trying to do that. At one point, we were looking at possibly having it set up where we would only have one or two flights in the non-conference. If we were to finalize our schedule right now, we would only have two road trips where we would have to get on an airplane. So those things were factors. The money piece was changed dramatically. Power Fives, many of them cut their guarantee payments in half or more. A lot of them just didn't have guarantee games available for mid-majors and low majors. So factoring in travel, factoring in budget and finances and what money we needed to bring in, what money we were going to spend for travel, all those things were factors. Some people felt like they should try to get in the MTEs. You probably read about a lot of these bubble situations. Some people felt like that was a great scenario. You just signed up and go to Vegas or signed up and go to Orlando and kind of piece it together that way. We were a little more comfortable having more control over our schedule. So at this point, unless something just falls into our lap at the last minute, we probably will not be involved with an MTE, which means we'll play 2 fewer non-conference games than some of the other people in the country. But certainly limiting the travel was important to us. Trying to find a way to get some home games without spending money. It's hard to do. It's always hard to do. That's always a big challenge for us. The dates weren't a big deal when they pushed us back 2 weeks and then eliminated 3 or 4 games from the schedule. That kind of just solved itself in terms of the dates. So that wasn't a big issue though.
Was it complicated to get out of some of the previously scheduled matchups that didn't work either because of the timing or whatever other reason?
Yeah, very difficult, very difficult. And there's going to be situations all across the country where people are breaking contracts or they're gonna turn it over to the lawyers to figure out the COVID piece, the language in those contracts where contracts were broken or where payments were cut in half. So there's a lot of things that won't ever really make the news, but a lot of behind the scenes things will be going on with those contracts. But yeah, maneuvering today, again, literally today, we had a game that we felt very, very good about. We continued to talk to the other coach, tried to have that date locked in, got a call from another coach with a game that makes even more sense for us. So now we're trying to flip-flop some dates. If we try to flip-flop a date with one opponent, well, that affects their other opponents. And all these things are just tied together, and it makes it very, very difficult. Everybody's, there's a little bit of selfishness. Everybody's got to protect themselves and try to put together the best schedule that they can. There's different philosophies going out there. Again, some of the people absolutely feel the need to be in MTEs. A lot of people are having their own MTEs at this point as well. So it's been a real challenge. We're not that far away from the first game, and we're not even close to. Well, we are close, but we're not done. We're not close to releasing it yet. We're close to finalizing it in our minds, and then we got to get all the contracts done and approved, and check with facilities, check the women's schedule. So there's a lot goes into it.
What does the testing protocol look like for you guys now, and how will it be handled during the season?
Yeah, we're testing fairly regularly with the entire group, but then we've got spot checks with all of our groups weekly. Again, we have the daily temperature checks and surveys. Once we start playing games, Conference USA rules, I think, line up with the NCAA suggestions. Everyone will test 3 days a week prior to the games. That includes us and our opponents. Again, that goes into the scheduling piece. Just because we know what we're doing on the testing piece, if we play a non-Division I opponent, are they doing the testing that we require? So that's a big factor. But it'll be 3 days a week once we start playing games.
And it's just once a week through the practice season, right?
Yeah, or if there's anything pops up, symptoms, then we'll test. We'll test roommates, those types of things. Sports medicine folks have been terrific. They've been a driving force through all this. They've handled it in unbelievable fashion. It's been fascinating watching them go through this, but got to tip our hats to them.
Got it. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We'll get Keaton in here next.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I was on mute.
Come right in here, there's the camera, and kind of stand right in front of that Velcro there. Keith, we got Keaton in here.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to adjust your camera. Go ahead and just give me a quick count to 10 just to make sure your audio sounds good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
1 second.
7.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit. All right. One more time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm good with that. Brent, that's good with you. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
Greg, you want to get us started with Keaton?
Sure, Keaton. Thanks for waiting on us. I appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How's the atmosphere been like in practice so far?
The atmosphere been good, everybody's excited to be back in the convo, back practicing. So instead of doing individual, we're doing a lot of teamwork now. So everybody's glad to be back.
How is the routine or the way practices are structured different from normal because of all the protocols with COVID and things like that?
We're trying to stay a little bit more spaced out in huddles. We're wearing our masks a lot more than, we've never wore masks before. So now we're wearing masks and, we're just trying to do what we can to stay healthy.
What is it like practicing with a mask on? That seems like it would be a weird situation.
At first it's hard to get, adjusted to, but now since we've been doing it for a while, everybody getting accustomed to it. At first it was hard to breathe. So, now we're getting our conditioning up. That's how I see it.
Has your whole group been good about adjusting to that sort of stuff? How much of a transition has it been for you guys, that things are different than usual?
We really haven't had any problems with, people coming in with no mask and things like that. We've been pretty good, staying on top of things like that. So when we do get tested, we'll be ready. We won't have any positives, hopefully. So we've been doing a good job.
Have the coaches been really strict with enforcement of all that stuff? How much do they talk to you about it?
Well, they talk to us about it, every day, especially looking at the media, other teams, they're getting tested and some of their players are having to sit out or they're going to, small groups outside of the sports and things like that. So we're just trying to do what we can to stay healthy, really.
JJ, you're up.
Hey, Keaton, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Tell me, how different is this basketball team going to look this season compared to last season? What do you think are some of the things that are going to be different?
I think we're going to be a more aggressive team. We're going to get up more on defense. That's really the big thing that we lacked in last year, especially on the defensive end. Offensively, we should, still be up to par. But defense is a big emphasis for it this year. We got more guys in, like Sid and Eric Parrish and Lockie, Jaja, Lil Juice. And, we got more guys that can get up the floor and pressure the ball a little bit more. So we should be better on defense.
Tell me a little bit more about Cedric and what he brings to the table. He was a transfer from Houston, and just what are some of the things he does well that you've noticed in y'all's workouts and practice?
Sid, he brings a lot of energy to the team. When he's in practice, he's gonna crash the boards hard. He's gonna play hard defense. He's gonna give it his all every time he steps on the court. That's what I like about said he's gonna leave it all out there on the court. That's the big thing that opened my eyes when he first came in.
And then what about Eric? I know he practiced with you guys last year, but he never played. What are we going to see out of him this season?
Right, Eric Parrish, he's really good too. He's good in the mid-range. He has a nice little mid-range jumper. Defensively, he's long and athletic, so he can guard pretty much the 1 through 4. So, he could play the 2 through the 4 on defense. He could play the 2 through the 4. So he'll be great for us as far as length and size and getting up for ball pressure.
Steven, you're next.
Hey Keaton, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. So the NCAA has given everybody kind of an extra year of eligibility based, because of the pandemic. So what does it mean to you personally that you're going to get an extra year to play at UTSA, and then also that you and Jhivvan have an extra year to play together?
Really, I haven't looked at the next year or anything like that. I'm trying to focus on this year, what's going to happen right now. We're trying to make the best that we can. We trying to do the best that we can with what we got right now. We're not too focused on what's going to happen next year, or this is a free year this year. We're trying to do something special here. So we're not thinking if this doesn't work, then we have next year. That's not how we coming in this year. So we expect to do well, and we're going to grind and play hard, and that's what we're expecting.
Evan, you're up next.
Before I start my questions, who is Lil Juice?
Oh, that's Jordan Ivy Curry.
How do you get that nickname?
Hey, I don't know. Hey, that's a story for him to tell.
Okay. I'll make sure I file that one away for later. Just first and foremost, we talked with Coach, and he said the prevailing message to you guys is, look, this season is not going to be fair, and we got to table that thinking right now. Just have you bought into that, and have you accepted the reality that things are going to go sideways, and whatever happens, and rosters and schedules could change at any minute?
Right. With all the new things that have been thrown at us, wearing the mask, having to isolate ourselves a little more. We just got news that, that we're getting an extra year. So with all that, we understand that everything's not going to go as it usually goes. We can't do the same things that we usually do. So, and that's, throughout the whole country. It's not just us. So everything's not going to be as balanced as it usually is. Things are going to fluctuate, be up and down. So we expect to just, embrace that and, make do with what we got. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I know you mentioned you're not, as far as the extra year eligibility, you don't care about that right now. But the fact that you guys have some sort of insurance policy on your season to just say, look, we're gonna give it our best shot. We're gonna do what we can this season, control what we can control. But knowing that you have that safety blanket, just how important was that news to you?
To be honest, I really haven't thought about it much. To be quite honest, I really haven't thought about it much.
And then I'll also talk about your running mate there with Jhivvan. Just another season with him. What you guys can do on the offensive side of the ball is nothing short of spectacular. Just how excited are you guys to get another year of experience under your belt, to then have this season to where, we always expect the bar to be a little higher than what you showed us the year previously?
Right. We're expected to come in and do our thing, these past 3 years, we've been doing our thing, dynamic duo and, scoring a lot of points, winning a lot of games. And we expect to come in year 4 even better. We're setting the bar even higher for ourselves and for our team. So we expect to do more. That's what we've been preaching in practice, do more.
Is there a specific goal that you have or that you two have that, you're aiming for this season?
For us, I think it's win more games. Last year we came up a little short, and, you know, a lot of disappointment, but, you know, live and learn. And, you know, we know that we can't do the same things that we were doing last year, because if we do that, then we're just going to be, you know, the same team that we were last year. If we come in with a different approach, different mindset, then we can do different things. So I feel like that's the best thing for us right now as a team.
And then my last question, you touched a little bit on in the beginning of this interview, but just getting back on the court and having that sense of appreciation after, you know, once your season ended, the pandemic pretty much began immediately. To know that you have this moment where right now the season is going forward, it looks like you guys will have something to play for. Just what does that mean to you?
You know, really it means a lot, you know, because at first we didn't know if we were going to even have a season. Then it became we only have conference games. Then it became we can have a little bit of pre-conference games, you know. So, you know, with it building slowly but surely, you know, it's great, you know, and it's a blessing that we can still play the game of basketball.
Thank you so much.
Greg, you're up.
Keaton, what was your offseason like? Were you able to get a lot of work in, or how much different was it under the circumstances?
I was actually able to get a little work in. You know, I went back to Dallas, my hometown, for a while during the summer, and I trained with my cousin at CSA Academy, and we different. When I went back in the summer with my cousin and my little brother, we were training outside, so that was a little bit different. You know, we were just trying to find ways to get better, and, you know, we had to be a little bit more creative. It wasn't just, you know, how it usually be. So we got a little creative, and we made it happen.
What is it like entering your senior season here and having it be a year where your prep is different and there's all these protocols and even the schedule is different? Is that like a hard thing for you to deal with, or how do you view that?
I feel like, you know, everybody's going through the same thing right now. So it's not just me having to adjust. You know, everybody in the country has to adjust, whether it's basketball or off the court. So with that being said, you know, and like Coach was saying, you know, it's not gonna be fair this year. You know, so that's my mindset. That's how I'm approaching this year.
Got it. Thank you, Keaton. I appreciate you hanging out with us for a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Keaton. We'll bring Jhivvan in here in just a second.
Thank you, Keaton.
Let's go.
Jhivvan, maybe count to 5 for us real quick, just so we can test your audio.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. JJ, you want to get started?
Yeah, hey, Jay, can you take your mask off?
Yeah, I got you.
How's it going?
Doing good, doing good.
Thanks for joining us. What's it been like these first few days of practice?
It's been really good. You know, we just trying to work on we just happy to be back, really. You know, full out scrimmaging and stuff like that. You know, we really working on our defense. You know, emphasizing the most we can on defense, getting the new guys, with the plays and stuff like that. But everything been good. You know, been really intense. But we're taking care of each other. You know, staying healthy and then just really hooping.
How different is it, with all the stuff going on with COVID and the testing and all the things you guys got to do? How different is it this year than in years past?
I mean, I think the only difference for most people and stuff like that is just like the online classes and then the testing and stuff like that. But and I think and obviously checking in, wearing the mask. I think that's probably the thing that hooping wise that bothers our players the most, just the mask. But I mean, we've been focusing on whatever Josh tells us, our trainer. We just trying to follow the guidelines. I mean, hooping wise, it's been the same. We're getting in the weight room, coming back and practicing at 3. We all getting treatment. We all looking good. We all feeling good, and we just ready. Taking it one day at a time.
Greg, you're up.
Jhivvan, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
You mentioned, having to practice with the mask on and things like that. How big of an adjustment was that for you and for the guys?
I mean, for me, it was just, probably like for me, it was usually just probably like one practice and stuff like that. I kind of shoot close to my face, so I thought the mask was bigger than it is supposed to be. So but other than that, I mean, we're all following. We all know the health. We all trying to stay healthy. So we don't have no issues wearing it, and we all know that it's for the good cause. So I mean, to me, it's not much. I think for the team, it's just a little uncomfortable. It's a little bit hard to breathe once we go up and down a lot. But we gonna keep fighting through it, and it's not no crucial thing.
How much have the coaches talked to you about how important all this stuff is and what you need to do on and off the court, even away from the team, to keep safe and make sure the season works as it's supposed to?
I mean, the coaches have definitely emphasized that, especially Josh, because and we understand, because now with all the COVID and stuff, if one player catches it, it doesn't affect just him. It can affect the guys that they live with, and it affects the team. So we definitely just trying to stay as safe as possible. I mean, I don't think anybody doesn't mind staying at home. I don't think nobody. So I mean, we just doing that, staying at home, following the guidelines, and just honestly, just it's not. I mean, it's nothing new to me. Like I said, I've had the classes online and stuff. So I mean, it's just a little adjustment for other people.
Steven, you're up.
Hey, Jhivvan, how's it going?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Y'all have Cedric Alley coming in from Houston. What are your thoughts on him so far, and what do you think he's going to bring to the team this year?
I think Ced he's definitely one of our best athletes in the team for sure. Like I think I heard like Coach Henson was saying, like his the school he comes from, they really emphasize defense, and that's the step that we're trying to take this year, is be one of the best defensive teams in the conference. So I think he's gonna help us a lot with that, and he's gonna
he's gonna keep Byron's rebounds up. You know, he crashes really hard like Byron. And he's really a mismatch. You know, on the three, he's gonna play the 3 and the 4. You know, a lot of fours can't guard him because he's mainly a guard. So I mean, we just trying to get him in on our plays and stuff. But we know, like, when it comes down to defense and stuff, he's gonna lock in.
Evan, you're up.
Hey, Jhivvan. I wanted to ask you, just how's the offseason been for you? You know, the season ended and then the pandemic started. And then I want to know about that process to getting to today and beginning practice and how your mentality has been throughout the whole offseason.
I mean, well, right after the season finished, I had to take a little week and a half off, 2 weeks, just because my body was a little hurt after the season. But I mean, after the 2 weeks, you know, I went back home to Dallas to see my dad, and I mean, after that, that's when the work started already, you know. So I went back to Dallas and I started working out, you know, with my friend Miles, trainers, Tim Martin, and after that, honestly, I was planning on going to see my mom in Puerto Rico, but I couldn't because of the COVID and stuff they had. Like, I couldn't fly out there without the test results. But I was gonna wait till I get tested when I got here to school, so I couldn't go see my mom. But I mean, that just gave me more time to, you know what I mean, get better. I just came early to start working out with the team, and I mean, it really is. I've really been on the same kind of like the same routine since I got back over here. You know, just waking up, staying at the house, just coming over here, lifting weights, you know, practicing, and then just going right back home and, you know, resting, taking care of my body, and then doing it right back the next day. Think our off season was really good. You know, I think we got better in the off season. Not, you know, we didn't have as much, but I think us as individuals and as a team, you know, we got better, and so we're just keeping it up. And now we're here. You know, we're really happy about the season that, you know, is gonna happen, stuff like that. So we just working as hard as we can to be the best.
How hard has it been, you know, not being able to visit your mom, and what's that been like for you personally?
You know, I kind of been, you know, I'm kind of used to it not seeing my mom, you know, because she's been living in Puerto Rico since I was in high school. But you know, it's definitely been rough, you know, because guidelines over there is different still. You know, I think over there you still can't like leave the house after 10 o'clock and stuff like that. So like, you know, everything been good. You know, my grandparents had it, so you know that was a little bit hard at first, but you know they fought through it. They got back, and I mean, just, you know, I talk to her every day, so they've been good. I mean that's all I need to know, that they're good over there, and you know I keep going with my day.
With your grandparents getting it, did that provide some sort of reality that, like, whoa, you know, this thing is real and it's got to be respected?
Definitely, especially my grandpa. He was the one that caught it first. You know, he was in the hospital for about 2-3 weeks. You know, he caught it first, and then when he came back home, they actually caught it twice. So when they got back home after the test, you know, he went back home and he gave it to his wife. So my grandma and my grandparent and my grandpa had it. So then, I mean, they both went to the hospital. You know, everything. You know, they did their quarantine, and then after that, I mean, they've been good since. But you know, I thank God for that, and just, you know, I mean, I'm just blessed that they're safe.
And then also, just to the basketball side of things, for you, what are the goals that you have? And you know, you've been crushing the record books there at UTSA since the moment you stepped on campus. Just what is the next step for you?
I mean, I think the next step for me is winning. You know, I think I proved that I could score all 3 years I've been here, and you know, I wanna take it to the next step, and you know, be better. You know, be better defensively, be a better leader, and you know, I just want to win. You know, that's really all I've been thinking about, is just winning. You know, I'm gonna do everything I can just to win, and helping my teammates. You know, I've been really working on that, and you know, I'm just really pumped up for the season. Honestly, like I can't wait for the first game. You know, I think this is the year for sure.
Yeah, what would it mean to you to get to the March Madness tournament?
I mean, it'll mean everything, honestly, because you know I think that everybody wants to experience that, especially me. You know, I've been wanting to experience it for the past 3 years, and I haven't. You know, I can't go outside for 4 years. You know, I just can't. I just can't.
And then finally, you know, there's that waiver that potentially, you know, if you wanted to return for a super fifth year, you could. Have you given that any thought? And just in the sense of having that security blanket in case the season goes sideways. And then also, have you given it some thought that you could like create some sort of like Cal Ripken-esque record at UTSA that can never be broken with the amount of points and games you play?
I definitely me actually, like when they came out with it, you know, me and the coaches actually talked about it. You know, we talked about Pete Maravich's record and stuff. We would talk about all the averages and stuff like that. But you know, I'm gonna take that one game at a time. You know, I think that's a blessing for not just me, you know, and it's a blessing for everybody around the country, you know, to get that one extra year, not just for basketball, it's just education as well. But I mean, I've definitely been thinking about it a lot these past couple days. You know, I've talked to Keaton about it. I talked to my parents, you know, but I think that's just, you know, at the end of the season type of decision. You know, I think I'm gonna see how the season goes. You know, and obviously what the future holds for me. But if I'm not satisfied with the season and how things go after, I might be back for sure.
And I have one more. I totally forgot to mention this one. Coach Henson said that he's explained to you guys that the season might be unfair and that you just have to be prepared for what's going to happen, and a player might be out and a game might be canceled. Just how prepared are you for the unexpected?
Oh, we're prepared. You know, coach is telling us that every day. He's been telling us since day one that nothing this year's going to be fair. You know, I think everybody can see that, you know, there's some teams that haven't even touched school yet, you know. I mean, and we totally understand, but we just gotta focus on us, you know, keep working, and just like for everybody, you know, it's just not unfair for us. It's unfair for everybody.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much.
Greg, wrap us up here.
Yeah, Jhivvan, the schedule is going to be a little bit different this year, and I know Conference USA, you know, talked about we're going to play two teams back to back, or one team back to back at the same place, a couple days apart. What do you think that dynamic is going to be like? How do you feel about this, the way the schedule sets up?
I seen the thing, the schedule thing yesterday. I couldn't understand, but I just got more informed about it. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, I think it's gonna be good for us, especially when we go away, because we play double games away. So I think that's gonna help us, you know, become a better team. You know, we got more adversity over there. We got to win games, and I think you know, because at home, you know, we've always been decent at home. So I mean, I think that's gonna make us as a better team. You know, just going to away games and playing the same, you know, the same team at their crib twice. You know, I think that's like I said, I think that's good. I don't mind it. I love if it was for me, I'd play every game away. You know what I mean? Like I don't really mind it. So we just gotta stay safe. Honestly, once we do fly out there and stuff like that, I just hope everything goes out safe and smoothly.
Got it, Jhivvan. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you, Jhivvan. Thank you, everybody.